Cactus diseases and discolorations and problems can something like that, for instance, is from worms and different little bugs and things that will live in there. But basically that whole line right there is from a worm that's just laying in the crevice, and it will sit there and it'll slowly eat out its whole body length and or as it's growing. And so if you see something like that, you know that you've got infestations of different bugs and stuff. Another example is little black marks like that are not sunburn or viruses or rot or mold. They're a direct result of bug bites. And what happens is the bugs chow on the flesh indefinitely for like a long time. You know, it doesn't really bother it, so they just keep messing around, and over time it causes little boils, and they open up the surface, and it causes a raw flesh, and then the cells of the plant grow back over it just like our tissue would, and it's a form of a scab, but then they keep chewing on it, so it basically kind of rots there. But it's basically as is. It's more like a mole, and it looks bad, so you can do two things. You can cut it off and scrape clean the surface clean just like you would any other kind of rot, and let it dry, or you can leave it alone, and chances are really good that if you take care of your bugs or whatever might have caused it, that this is really not a big deal, and just looks bad, and it'll harden up, and they'll either fall off like scabs, because that's basically what these are, or blisters, and it's not endemic to the rest of the plant, and in that sense it is more like a sunburn, but think about it more like a scab. It's a wound to the plant, and that's its way of healing, and it will eventually grow past those will dry out, and it'll either shed those off, or they'll be easier to pick off as a hard scab. There are some dry, hard scab parts that have dried out. It aesthetically looks bad, so that's your choice how to deal with it. Other scabs are like that, and they're hard white, and those right there are more of a growth and actually a different type of product altogether. And that right there is more endemic to a virus. It's more of a parasite that is living off of the plant. It's a scale, and you could cut that off, and once again you're going to have a big clean area, and then you're going to have to keep that clean. It's not going to kill the plant. Once again, it just looks bad. Then you've got other things that, depending on how you take care of your plants, they can just get a lot of holes and stuff in them from poking each other, and that'll cause discoloration and basically ugliness in the plant, and that's kind of what our focus is right now. You see that hole right there is a direct result from what's called a feeding tube. And the core is basically the very middle of a cactus. It's that round hard circle right there. But every single cactus that grows has a main root. And there was a cactus like this that grows off. So when a cactus growth comes off of a cactus, it forms another root. And that hole right there was the root that was going down to the main core. And it basically, there was a cactus growing out of that hole, just like this one. And if you were to remove this whole cactus right here, you would see that there would be a hole that would go many inches all the way down into the core of this cactus. It is not growing on the outside as it looks like it is. This is not growing on the outside. This is actually only growing from a very small hole like that it's attached to, and it's using that hole as a feeder route to the main stem of the cactus. Another thing that bugs can do, and or irrigated soil and bad soil, is called cryostat, which cactuses form bizarre forms and change shapes that are abnormal. And in this case right here, this cactus has been cut and it's growing normally. In theory, a normal shoot's coming off of it, but then at the top here, I'm not sure what happened, but basically I think some bugs started chowing on it, and so it started a whole new growth right there out the side of the top. And that's going to be a whole new cactus that has not been cut and is not a normal graft or anything. Like when that's cut right there, this one's going to grow off, but this hasn't been cut. This is just brand new, forming a brand new clump, a brand new cactus out the top with no prior cut. And that little green dot right in the middle is a brand new cactus. There are 2 cactuses growing out the top of this cactus right here, which is not normal. This is the top of the cactus, and that is its normal growth, as is all of these cactuses. They don't split and split off normally. Cactuses do form branches occasionally, but not in the same manner as like that. That's a rarity, and it's formed from, I'm going to say, my professional guess is from bugs that you can't see, you know, but they're there, or they were there, and they were chowing on it, and they affected its growth genes in such a way, they just kept messing with it when it's in such a growth pattern that it affected it, and it mutated. Literally, it mutated, and now its genes have formed 3 new sets of growing cells, literally 3 whole new bodies that are growing now out of this cactus, which by itself was a new growth cactus coming off of, and still is, this cactus. So this cactus, the whole cactus, is a hybrid and a rarity by itself. Two cactuses that were then flowered, and pollens were mixed in order to form a standardized 3rd cactus that was grown consecutively, concurrently, either or, to be able to produce viral seed and or a stable form cactus, in theory, which is what this is. And now this is acting bizarrely, to say the least. So there you go. Quick little thing on Brugmansia is 2 words. 1, brujo, which is witch, which is which one, whichever, and witch implying magic, which Brugmansia is magical, and it is growing out of my cactus here, and I assure you I didn't plant it there, and I have no seeds, and I have no plants that are producing seeds, and there's no logical way that I can explain to you why that plant is growing out of this mix, except that I do possess the plant on my property, and all of these plants do interact with other plants, and I still say it's pretty magical. There's just no way. There's just no way.